You were the best part all along.
So last night I had the opportunity to check out the new Netflix released film, The Adam Project, starring Ryan Reynolds. Now I'd seen the trailers for this movie only a little while beforehand. It was only a couple weeks ago that I saw the first one. And I remembered thinking that it looked fairly entertaining. It looked like it was going to be a good time. It's created by the same exact guys and group that made the movie Free Guy last year, which I quite enjoyed. And so I was excited for it when I was going into it. And with it being a Netflix film, you can never really know for sure what it is that you're going to be getting. They have some that are really quite well done, and they have others that just are not very, very good at all. And I'll say for this one, it definitely for me ranks among the better Netflix films that I have seen. I actually found myself quite enjoying it. I think it leans more into that entertainment side than it does the intriguing side of a movie because it's Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds in this film is playing the same kind of character that he always plays in his movies, but it's a character that I still find myself enjoying. He's still very, very funny, and the kid, I don't remember the actor's name, who plays kind of the younger version of that character in this film, is also quite funny, and he does a really good job of feeling like a younger Ryan Reynolds and feeling like how he would actually be as a kid. And so the things that kind of stick out to me as far as entertainment in this film is one, it does involve some action. It's got some fairly fun action as well. You see some somewhat lightsaber-like combat. There's a lot of shooting. There's some pilot scenes. So it is entertaining in that side. It's also rather funny. I wouldn't call it like a straight-up comedy per se, but there are some really fun jokes in there. Some of them can be mildly inappropriate, but nothing that goes over the top or extreme. It comes from Ryan Reynolds. It comes from the younger version of him, and they're all quite entertaining and funny in the role. As far as the story is concerned, I will say what I liked about it is that it involves time travel, as you see in the trailers, and it's a fairly simple and straightforward time travel movie. It's not overly complicated like what you see in some other films that have come out recently, because time travel can get very, very confusing. And there are some comments or whatnot that are made in this on occasion that make you go, oh, how does this work out? What kind of happened here? How did it mess things up? But for the most part, the story itself is pretty straightforward. They're going in the past to do a certain thing, and they accomplish that thing ultimately in the end. So simple is what I liked about it, but it's also kind of the thing that is what takes back from it as well. There's not a ton to the story. It is a very straightforward story. It is, again, it's simple, which works with the time travel. I liked that, but it doesn't give you much room to really explore it as much. Another thing that was also really, really good about this film is that it has surprising amount of heart in it. You see a lot of this kind of relationship between the two different versions of the character, as well as the relationship between their dad and their mom. And there's a lot of things that it brings up that are very true about relationships and about how things work when there's loss and how that people react to each other and how you react to different things in your life. And so there's some really great moments that occur between these characters that I wasn't particularly expecting the movie to be as heartfelt as it was. So it was really fun to see it when those things did happen. Now, when it comes to the cleanliness of this movie, there's really not much that you've got to worry about in this one. It's got your minor, violence and action, nothing gory, nothing bad. It's pretty much the same style of violence that you can expect to see in something like Star Wars. It's fun, it's movement and a lot of fighting and punching and all that, but you're not going to see anything severe occurring. There's some language, minor language, as is common with these style of films. Nothing that stands out as anything major as well. And the other thing would be some of the humor. There are a few jokes that lean into more of the sexual territory, and they probably won't be understood by those very young viewers, but they are there. They're not terribly bad or anything like that, but they are a present thing. So those are kind of my thoughts overall with the movie, but let's go ahead and get into my final thoughts on it. So overall, I would say that this is a very fun and for the most part very family-friendly adventure that you can watch on Netflix. It is really entertaining in a lot of different ways. Most of the jokes are quite funny. The action is rather well done and fun to watch as well. The characters themselves are quite interesting, and the way that they interact with each other is actually quite heartfelt. and it makes you feel good and almost has this lesson to it that you can learn as well as you watch this film, which is something that you don't get in every movie that you see. It is rather simple as far as the storyline goes, especially in regards to how the time travel works and what that story involves with time travel, which in some ways is a positive as it is very simple. It's more easy to follow than some other time travel movies. But in other ways, it's kind of a negative as they don't really get deep on it, and that can be fascinating times, and this film really never tries to go for that at all. So overall, very entertaining, not the most intriguing, but it does what it needs to do. And for a Netflix film, I think that it was rather well done. As a rating, I'm going to go ahead and give this one a B for all of the reasons that I was previously talking about, the characters, the action, and the humor mainly, and the simplicity of it as well. As for the cleanliness, as mentioned before, a little bit of swearing, the action, and some somewhat inappropriate jokes that occur throughout, but nothing that's over the top or extremely bad. For the most part, this is going to be good for most children. I'm going to give it a B plus on the cleanliness rating. Definitely something that I recommend that you guys check out if you have the time. If you've already seen it, let me know in the comments what you guys thought of it, and be sure to look forward to more reviews coming in the future.